All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as Steve Young stopped by with Dan Patrick and had a nice little interesting conversation about Brock Purdy. We are brought to you, of course, by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. So go say hi to Damon and Mary. Get some brisket chili. Tell them the Krug sent you. Love that place. Pig and a Pickle. Okay, and this video is also brought to you by BetUS. With BetUS, you get the fastest payouts in the industry and easy withdrawals, live wagering on all major games, plus you get 10% back on your net losses twice a year. On top of that, you get your own personal account manager. So what do? You head over to betus.com, do it today, and use the promo code YouTube150, and you'll get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Again, sign up at betus.com. Use that code YouTube150 to claim that offer. All right, let's talk a little Niners. Niners and Dolphins go on Sunday. But Brock Purdy was the topic of conversation today when Steve Young stopped by with Dan Patrick. Let's play their comments and we'll talk about it coming up next. Here's a little Steve Young with Dan Patrick.
Awkward quarterback situations. Vikings with Sam Darnold. A good awkward. The Jets situation of what do? Do you want Rodgers back? And if you're a new coach coming in, the Falcons is kind of awkward if Penix plays well. Yeah. What do you do with Kirk? If he doesn't play well, it's awkward. I offer this one up. Let me start with this. The Niners quarterbacking situation with Brock Purdy coming due. Is that an awkward quarterback situation decision?
Well, it really comes down to how you see the game today and what I just described to you in the difference between Kirk Cousins and somebody that can move around, take the yards. If you don't have that ability to extend and to push, kind of from your athletic ability just to push defenses backwards, you're going to need more help. That's why Jared Goff last week, he scrambled once and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's like Josh Allen, but so he can do it, but it's not his game. So he actually in the game today, because of what I just described to you, you need more room. And so you need more help. And so when Josh gets it, let me say it this way. If you have a series, a 10-play series, they score a touchdown. In those 10 plays, if it's Jared Goff, you're going to have 10 plays where you have to call it out of the huddle generally and have it work all the way down the field. So that's hard to do. That's retail football. It's hard to do. If you can do it and you get really good at it, but it's just it's got a degree of difficulty. Where Josh Allen, on the same side of the other side of the ball, he'll have a 10-play drive and he'll score, but 3 of the plays were off script and were easy yards. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to be efficient. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be timed up. And so all of a sudden, it's 70% of the time you got to play great football. Or tactical or efficient football, and the Lions have to do 100%. So you go back to Brock Purdy. He's going to have to. He needs out of the huddle. That's his superpower. Call a play, run it, and then matriculate down the field and throw it into the end zone, and or run it in the end zone. So in many ways, in the game today, you would say, look, I want to make sure that I have plenty of help for Brock Purdy, plenty of help for Jared Goff, plenty of help for Kirk Cousins, and I need money to do that. And so that's where maybe the awkwardness that you're talking about.
What do you want to spend $60 million?
So if you're going to spend, I think that Dak Prescott, the Cowboys are going to suffer for a long time because they paid him a number that now in many ways takes from the ability to build teams to go help you for the very thing that you need. And so that's the dilemma. Because everyone loves Brock and loves his game and loves his efficiency and his leadership and everything else. But we got to make sure we have the money to put the people with him to go win it. Because if the goal is Super Bowls, if the goal is winning some rank and file regular season games, maybe get to the playoffs, that's a different goal. And that might mean different. But if you're talking about we want to go to the Super Bowl, we need people to be there to help Brock. And if he doesn't, and so that it becomes just how much is there available? And it is a zero-sum game in some ways with a salary cap. And I think I look at how Tom Brady thought about it. Look at how Patrick Mahomes thinks about it. Right? It says, hey, look, I'm cool. I got my money, but I want to have plenty of money. And how many times did Tom every year say, look, I'm going to restructure I want plenty of money to get people that can come help me win Super Bowls. And so just with that mentality, it could all get worked out. If everybody says, oh no, I want every last dollar and I have to set the market, that's going to be a complicated, there's the awkwardness that you just talked about.
Steve Young with Dan Patrick and some good stuff there. Let's talk about what, and there's a lot of different ways to talk about this. Do the Niners want Brock Purdy? One. The answer is yes, they do. Does Brock Purdy want to be a Niner? Yes, he does. He wants to be a Niner. Do the Niners want to get it done this offseason? It sounds like they do. They don't sound like they want to push it off into the distance, and neither does Brock. I guarantee you that him and his agent would love to get it done, I'm sure, as soon as the season is over. They don't want it to linger. They want to get that deal done right away. So the question is, how much is too much? What's the right amount? How should this go down? Is there going to be awkwardness? That was the question. I look at it this way. The top of the market is Dak Prescott, 60 to 65 million. And if you're Brock's agent, your job is to get him as much money as possible. So you got to start the talk. Hey, my guy's top of the market, right? My guy's done more than Dak Prescott. He deserves more. Okay, so there's that angle. Then the 49ers side of it, you want to get your quarterback signed and you want this guy, but at the same time, you want to be able to build a good team around him and win a Super Bowl. So you want him at a lower number so you can have obviously a better roster around him. So I really think when it comes time for, do the two sides want to make a deal? It sounds like both sides want to make a deal. Where the awkwardness comes in is if people get really strident in their position. If the 49ers came to him and said, hey, we want you to take $35 million and, way, way, way beneath, what the top of the market is. Or if Brock's people came out and said, we want $65 million and not a penny less, then you've got a fracture. And then you've got potentially an impasse, some awkwardness. So a lot of the awkwardness is going to come down to, do the two sides really want to make a deal? Does Brock want to sign a contract that helps him win here? Or is the agent trying to make a name for himself with the biggest deal ever? Kind of, is he dreaming that dream? And it's very possible that the agent, think about it this way. It's in the agent's best interest to get the highest profile deal, especially if you're not a Drew Rosenhaus, a high profile agent. Brock's agent is not a big high profile guy. It's in his best interest to get a record setting deal for himself personally. It's in Brock's best interest to get the most money, you could argue. But is it? It's really in Brock's best interest to get the most amount of money that he can still be on a winning team with, where they can still build a team around him. If either side takes an extreme position in their negotiating tactics, that could create awkwardness. But I don't think it's going to happen. Why? Because I think Brock loves the Niners, wants to be a Niner. I think the Niners love Brock and want him to be a Niner. And I think there's a lot of respect from Brock to the organization. I think there's a lot of respect from the organization to Brock. I think this deal is going to get done. It's going to be probably between $50 and $55 million. Based on the comps, I kind of think that that's where it should be anyway. Brock will take a little bit less for the good of the team because he wants to win badly. And, the team will commit to him because he's done an awful lot in his tenure with the 49ers. So great segment with Steve Young and Dan Patrick. Outstanding stuff. Thanks for supporting the Krug Show. Thanks to, of course, our good friends at BetUS for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.